Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to Ladder Anxiety. Competitive games can be scary and intimidating and hard to get into. Most people do not find them to be a very relaxing experience. But what they do find to be relaxing is a storm. It's storming outside right now, and that's put me in the mood to help you relax. So let's sit down with some randoms, let's just battle an opponent we've never seen before, with Pokemon that we don't know the possibilities for, and we're gonna have a nice quiet night together. So I have Heatmore, Donphan, Ambipom, Claydol, Beedrill, and Rotom. Now against this Cofagrigus, I immediately want to go for the knockoff. Gonna take off most of its HP, and I'm going to lose Flash Fire in favor of becoming Mummy. Which actually is a little unfortunate. I could have gotten a special attack boost if I had stayed with Flash Fire, but that's fine. Instead, let's just go for the Fire Blast, do a nice big chunk of damage, and Cofagrigus is going to get taken out right away. So now, I have the complete advantage over my opponent, because, well, that's pretty interesting. I have only shown one Pokemon, and it managed to take out one of my opponents. But even if we were losing, that would be okay too. Losing does not have to be a painful experience. Meloetta is going to switch to its fighting type form. I've never actually seen this thing used in randoms before, so I'm actually a little bit excited here. I think I can take an attack from Meloetta with Rotom, so I'm just going to switch directly into it. It is going to lose its air balloon, which is pretty funny. And I kind of want to go for the Will-O-Wisp. Meloetta is going to go for the knockoff, but considering I lost my air balloon, that's not going to do any damage. I think now I just go for Thunderbolt just to do some damage. It's going to switch back into its relic form. And now I am in a spot of bother. Also, I have to sneeze. Sorry. And at this point, do I sacrifice Rotom, or do I go into something else to maybe take Meloetta's attacks a bit better? I'm going to switch into Claydol. Claydol is going to take the Relic Song fabulously. And I think we go for an Earthquake with old Claydol here. So Abomasnow is going to get brought out, and it's going to take a very, very small amount of damage from my Earthquake, but some damage is better than no damage, excuse me. So while Claydol is going to take that Ice Shard, I think I go for the Toxic here. Start racking up some damage on the very bulky Abomasnow. And I think we now switch into Ambipom. Ambipom's going to take the Ice Shard much better than Claydol does. And now, I'm actually not holding an item to get... No, I'm holding a Flying Gem, sorry. I'm going to go for the U-turn. Going to manage to pick up the KO on Abomasnow with a crit. And I think I go into Rotom so that I can get the Volt Switch going. Rotom doesn't have a lot left in it, but that's okay. Every attack counts, and every time Rotom gets it, well, it's just stalling for the rest of our team, I think. So I am going to get the Will-O-Wisp off onto Cast Form. It's going to go for the Weather Ball and knock out Rotom. So the Hail's going to stop, which is pretty interesting. I think that means that Cast Form here has to take a turn to set up something, which in turn means I can go for the U-turn to gain some real momentum. So predicting it to have to set up a form of weather, I'm going to go into Beedrill, and Beedrill's actually going to take that Thunder really well. I'm pretty impressed by that, actually. Now I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for the knockoff, as Thunder's going to miss. With no rain behind it, of course. What else could you expect? Cast Form's going to take a bit of damage from the burn. I can feel my nose starting to get clogged because of a cold, but that's perfectly okay. I'll get over it. Now I go into Ambipom again, and I'm wondering what else my opponent has up their sleeve. I haven't shown my last Pokemon, but my opponent shows one of his or her last Pokemon. There's actually two there. To be Steelix. Oh dear goodness gracious. I think I go for the low kick here just to do some form of damage. While Steelix is going to go for the heavy slam and knock out poor Ambipom, but that's going to give me a free switch into Heatmor. And Heatmor should definitely be able to do a load of damage with its Fire Blast. Steelix is going to switch out, let Meloetta take the damage. Meloetta goes down to 5% HP. I should be able to take an attack from Meloetta, so I'm going to go for the Giga Drain. It's going to lower its defense and special defense, and I'm going to get a very small amount of damage with my Giga Drain back. Now Tropius makes a last stand here. I do have several Pokemon that are good against it, and actually just to facilitate this, I'm going to go into Donphan, and I'm going to go for the Ice Shard. Only about 40%. It's going to take me out with the Giga Drain, but this is going to give me a switch into Beedrill, which is what I was hoping for. And now with Beedrill, I can go for the Poison Jab. And that's going to take Tropius out of the game. So now let's see if we can't finish off Steelix here. Unfortunately, Beedrill's not going to be able to do much, so let's U-turn into Claydol. And Claydol's going to get knocked out. And now it falls on Heatmor, not missing a Fire Blast. So let's go Heatmor. Heatmor is going to make the KO happen, and I'm going to say GG. My opponent's going to leave as always. They never stick around. Let's look for one more. I hope you're having a very pleasant evening. I hope you're very relaxed and you're having a great time, and if not, I hope you have a great time by the end of this. So my Pokemon for this battle are Bellossom, Breloom, Chatot, Zangoose, Regice, and Musharna. With that in mind, I want to go straight into Zangoose against this Arbok. And Arbok is going to go for the Gunk Shot. I do not actually have immunity, which is pretty interesting. But I am going to get my Poison up. I think I'm faster than Arbok, so I'm going to go right for the Facade. It gets knocked down to its Focus Sash, and it's able to pick up the KO onto Zangoose with its Gunk Shot. Toxic Boost, a very nice idea that didn't end up really working out there. I thought I had immunity, but I was not looking very carefully at my stats, but that's okay. You do not have to always pay the most attention to Pokemon to have the fun with it. Have the fun. I'm going to be able to pick up the KO onto Arbok with my Breloom, showing that I do in fact have a Life Orb. And I so far have shown 3 of my Pokemon. My opponent has only shown 1. Although, my opponent does not know what set my Bellossom's running, so I guess that's handy. And I've only shown Mach Punch onto Breloom. So there's still a lot of possibilities there. And I'm going to start the timer because we are running a show here. Gotta keep things moving. Just because this is a relaxed show does not mean it's a show that I have forever to produce. So Rotom-Mow comes out, and I do have a good Pokemon to handle this actually, in the form of Regice. So let's jump into it. It's going to take the Thunderbolt very nicely, of course. Now, I'm imagining the switch. I wonder if I have enough time to go for the Rock Polish. Rotom-Mow is going to go for the Volt Switch. And I'm carrying a Chesto Berry, so this is a Resto Chesto set. And Kyogre's going to come in, get its Primal Reversion going. But I'm going to get my Rock Polish off. And now, I think I go for Rest. With Rest, I'll get back to full, I'll wake up immediately. And I can see how much damage Kyogre's attacks are going to do. I'll get to see why my opponent brought Kyogre in against Regice. Wake up with my Resto. Oh, fishing for the Scald, I see. Well, let's see how much a Thunderbolt will do. I've got a decent amount of special attack on this. Certainly if we got a Paralyze, it would be worth it. And we do have recovery in the form of Rest, but we do have to bear in mind that we are not immortal. With the lack of our Chesto Berry, we are very vulnerable. The Thunder attack is actually not going to pick up the KO, so I think I should be able to KO Kyogre from here with a Thunderbolt. And with that, the Heavy Rain is now gone. So let's see what my opponent wants to do now that Primal Kyogre is out of the way. I'm going to go into Mawile. This is most certainly my opponent's Mega Evolution. And I have a few answers for that, I think. I can certainly do a lot of damage with some of my Pokemon. So in turn, I think I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt to try and do as much damage as I can with poor Mawile here. Or against poor Mawile with Regice. Regice is going to go down. And now I think we can go into Blossom. Let's get the Sleep Powder off and then go for a Hidden Power Fire. Mawile is going to switch out into Ferrothorn. Very nice play by my opponent. Let's see how well Ferrothorn takes the Hidden Power Fire. I never realized quite how short Blossom was. Going to do a clean 62%. Excuse me, Ferrothorn's going to start setting up its spikes though. Knowing that 3 of my opponent's remaining Pokemon are weak to fire, I feel pretty safe in going for continued amounts of Hidden Power Fire. Ferrothorn is not really getting anything out of this Protect. It gets a little bit of Leftovers recovery back, but in that Leftovers recovery, I am easily going to be able to pick up the KO on it. So against Carbink, before it starts any shenanigans, let's go for a Sleep Powder. I'm wondering if my opponent's going to be trying to waste time here. Carbink is going to get its life screen off. At this point, I kind of want to go into Chatot and go for a Nasty Plot, which I think I'm going to do now. Carbink's going to set up a Reflect. I'm going to set up Substitute, because I don't really fear what the Carbink has to do. Carbink is going to go for the Moonblast, which is going to cause my Sub to fade, which is a bit alarming. I still want to go for the Nasty Plot though. The Moonblast does 41%, and it does lower my special attack, which is very unfortunate. I'm basically looking to stall out this light screen as long as possible. So I go for another Substitute. And now it shows that light screen has 3 more turns. So any damage I do is not going to be too significant. I take 41% from the Moonblast. I think at this point, I switch back into Blossom. Blossom takes the Moonblast much better than Chatot does, not Carbink. And now, this turn I think I go for... So my opponent switched back into Ferrothorn, which is a nice switch, but I'm going to be able to go for the Hidden Power Fire again. While it will be weakened by the light screen, I did make my opponent waste another turn with it. And I don't think Ferrothorn can hurt me all that much. I lied, it can go for Gyro Ball and hurt me very significantly. That was a crit though. I feel pretty safe in going for Synthesis. I'm expecting my opponent to have to switch here, or go for another Gyro Ball. About 32%, I can definitely take another one of those. I've wasted all the turns on my opponent's screens without losing a Pokemon, though I am severely crippled. Hidden Power is going to do a clean 40% to Mawile. If I can get off a Synthesis, I can definitely win this game. My Synthesis is going to go up. Fire Fang is going to hurt, but I did show that I'm faster here, so I should be able to pick up the KO onto Mawile with my Hidden Power Fire. Mawile is in fact going to go down. I can definitely win the rest of this game with Blossom, I think. Rotom-Moo's going to come out, and just to see how much damage it might do, I'm going to protect myself with a Synthesis. The Thunderbolt's not going to be able to pick up the KO, and I'm going to get back to about above half with my Synthesis. So now let's see how much my Hidden Power Fire is going to do. I'm imagining the switch into Carbink is coming. And no, it's Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn's going to get knocked out by Hidden Power Fire. So that's excellent for me. And with only Rotom, Grass, and Carbink left, both of whom are weak to moves I have on Blossom, I think I can pick up the win here. Let's go for the Safety Synthesis just to put ourselves back into a decent amount of HP. You can never be too careful with crits running around. And now let's go for another Hidden Power Fire. I still haven't gotten to use one of these on Rotom-Moo yet. 37%, I pick up the KO here. Unless Pain Split puts it outside of that range, 54%. Just about. This last hidden Power Fire should definitely get rid of Rotom Mow. It has lowered Blossom to a fearful amount of HP. I do have to be very careful here, but with just Carbink left, oh, I am knocked down very low by that, but I am going to be able, let's not get too excited, to get most of my HP back. Blossom is finally going to go down, and now it's time for Breloom to take the stand. So, let's go for Bullet Seed, and that's going to be able to pick up the KO onto Carbink. That was an excellent match. I actually had to focus there for a while in order to keep from losing, but winning or losing is not the most important thing. The most important thing is having fun. So, whether or not you win and have fun, whether or not you lose and learn something, it doesn't matter, as long as you're just having a good time and relaxing. It doesn't have to be stressful, and you don't have to know everything going into the match. I almost lost early on because I let Zangoose go down because I didn't pay attention to its ability. And I still had a good time, I still managed to bring the game back. You just have to play. That's the important thing. Just take time to play. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know with a like and a comment down below telling me how much fun you had, preferably in a quantifiable amount, and I will see you next time as we return to Ladder Anxiety. Until then, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye!